Business manufacturers. Yep. As an introduction, as required on the client brief to determine the marketing and branding strategy for the train assisting app. The presentation, sorry, will be breaking down the steps of creating a marketing strategy, starting with the SWOT analysis and the 4Ps to understand more about the general goals and the targeted audience. Then we will go to the market research and response to the client brief. After that, we'll go through the budget breakdown, then the conclusion. We'll go to the SWOT analysis now.
Right then, so it was my job to do a SWOT analysis for the train information app, and I think we have some good insights and opportunities for them. For the strengths of the app, we thought this will allow customers to get train information really fast. As it stands now, you can use something like a Google Maps or a Trainline app to sort of get the relevant information, but it tends not to be updated in real time. Hence, there can be sometimes up to a 5-minute delay. And, when you rely on these trains for, long journeys to see family or for your daily commute, that might not be satisfactory to have time to have the information delayed by such a time frame. So that is a strength of the app. A little bit of insights into the UK population, how they use trains. 43% of people in the UK use trains regularly. That's according to City Suites 2020. So that is like a nice big customer base already there. 43% of the UK population, almost half, using trains regularly. So again, this is an app that pretty much all 43% of those people can use. And then of that 23% of the train users in the UK, actually 21% of them aren't satisfied with the ability to get train information. So that's almost a quarter of the total train users aren't actually satisfied with the ability to get information. That's actually quite huge. It's almost a quarter. Again, that's from Global Railway 2020. So again, a massive customer base there, which this app can fill quite easily. However, some of the weaknesses, though, there are a lot of competitors. I did already mention stuff like Google and Trainline, and while their services might not be real-time information, they do offer this information. And you could imagine that, if this app was to, grow and be a real big app, it might not be too unfeasible for someone like Google or Trainline just to try and improve their service, to try and, push this app out of the market. Of that 43% of the UK population that use trains, you have to imagine that a lot of them will be part of the older generation, as the UK does have an aging population. And of those older generational people, they might not be as familiar on how to use, smartphone apps on a regular basis, meaning that they might not be able to use the app to its fullest potential, or even know how to use it at all. But then again, that could just be a slight on, the generation more so than the app itself. There might be some data collection / GDPR issues that might need to be overcome. If you're trying to look at, companies' departure times, all that good stuff, you might have to navigate that in an information sensitive way. And there's obviously always going to be server costs, with maintaining the servers to, push out this information to people, and even app development costs or upgrades over time. However, I do feel as if there's going to be a ton of opportunities for this app, such as brand stretching to other transport information, such as buses, long haul buses, maybe even flights as well. That could be good. It could be like a whole, one-stop shop for all travel information. As it stands now, there actually isn't very many ways to get accurate real-time data for national rail, not national rail, national express buses, I should say, or megabus or flixbus. You actually can't get live departure times for that at all, and those services tend to have delays quite often. At least in my experience, having an app that could track that would be massive, and you could really benefit for some first market mover advantage there. Partnering with City Council, I think, could be a really good opportunity as well. You could be like the sort of Coventry City app or the Birmingham app or the Leeds app that deals with all the local bus routes and then all their live departures. That could be a real easy way to get some good client base there and some monthly recurring revenue. And then if you really want to go crazy with it, you could partner with companion apps such as Hey Siri Google, and you should be like, Hey Siri, when is the next 13 bus? And then it could just tell you, and then you could provide the data for that service. You could be the back end for that. However, there are some threats that might need to be overcome. The first one is something that we're going to have to deal with here in this presentation, is that the client said that they want to make the branding consistent across all European languages. That can be quite hard because, there are many European languages, in Europe. So it could be hard to, find a consistent word that means the same across all of Europe, like train or rail, for example, can have very different connotations no matter where you are. And then similar to the opportunities and weaknesses, if you just flip it, phone assistants like Google, Siri, or even Trainline could just brand stretch to compete with this app. If they see this app, you know, taken off, has a large client base, they could just easily improve their service to push the app out of the market. And that's the SWOT analysis.
Now for the 4Bs.
So I had the responsibility to map out the 4Ps. So yeah, this was what I used, you know, to help, you know, like determine our strategy for, you know, pricing, promotion, place, and, you know, product. And yeah, so for the pricing strategy, our app is going to go with value pricing, just so that we make sure, you know, what customers are paying for, you know, the app and the function of the app, you know, is, you know, for its value. So they are, you know, paying for, you know, the function of the app. For promotion, the technique that we're going to use is going to be advertising. You know, seeing as it is an app, everything is going to be, you know, mostly online, mostly digital. So it does make sense for the technique to be, you know, advertising digitally. So, you know, social media platforms is going to be a very key, you know, a key tool for the app in terms of, you know, advertising. There will be, you know, emails being sent out every, you know, now and then for, you know, seasonal updates. Also for, you know, casualty updates, you know, directly to the customer, because, you know, like my team member said, you know, for some, I think it was a Trainline, but, you know, some of the traveling apps, you can't really get live departure updates or casualty updates unless you search for it or listen to the radio or something. So this is, you know, I feel really beneficial to the customers. And also there will be, you know, some forms of traditional promotion with billboards and adverts being used in and around the main city. For place, the distribution service will be direct distribution to the consumers, and this will be done online as it is an app. So it is, you know, everything will be done digitally. And for product, the product that our app is, you know, given to the customers is just, it's a regular app with, you know, train schedules, events, and casualties. Much more in terms of, you know, updates and, you know, the seasonal change of price within tickets for trains, notices on strikes that happen every now and then. You know, when there are protests that could affect travel, or there are, you know, just, yeah, casualties that affect travel, you know, you will get updated, you know, daily on these things, and this will be straight to you, straight to your phone. You don't have to go onto the radio to listen or search on Google to find it anywhere. And yeah, that's our distribution straight to the customers. Yeah, that's the 4Ps.
Thank you. So market research is the process of evaluating the feasibility of a new product or service. So this can help to identify potential new markets, assess any demand, and boost the success. Shall I just pop the next slide on, please?
Yeah.
From the discussion with the client, we identified that their goal was to create a marketing strategy that can be used throughout Europe but cause no offence. So this is something we came to an issue with creating the name for the app that we'll discuss later. The client stated that their target audience was those who could do with an extra hand when using public transport. I believe that this would therefore mainly help an older generation, as they're commonly less advanced with technology and could benefit from having an easy-to-navigate app that makes travelling more simple for them. With a smaller budget, it's generally harder to target this particular audience, as they're most likely to see things with TV adverts, which cost around £150 to £300 on smaller channels per viewing, and up to £4,000 on channels such as ITV. With this being an app used on a phone, the most suitable marketing technique to use with this budget would be social media. Next slide, please. The two strategies we've chosen here were celebrity endorsement and word of mouth. Influencer Francis has a big following on platforms such as TikTok and Instagram, and is well known for his train spotting videos. This is very fitting to our brand and would likely reach a wider audience. Although it's an expensive strategy to use, I believe using a larger amount of the given budget on this would have a more effective impact. Some of the benefits of social media marketing include direct audience targeting, easy to measure impact, and higher engagement rates. To increase engagement, we could offer a discount code that allows a 1-month free trial to users who download through social media ads. Although this doesn't directly target the older generations, it does, however, target families and friends who would likely benefit from this. The client brief states that we're looking to create a stunt that will not cause any offence. Francis is a very well-liked influencer who has no past controversies and fits perfectly with the brand. I therefore believe a small video with Francis using the app whilst travelling posted to social media sites would be a perfect way to promote the app. Thank you.
Thank you.
So overall, our budget is £6,000. On top of that, we have a £1,000 budget for advertising. So to start off, our name and brand and design is going to be around £2,000. For the name, it will be around £800. The brand and design will be £1,000. So we have two types of launch advertising. This will be endorsement and production. It will also cost around £3,500. For endorsement, we're going to be using things such as Snapchat ads and celebrity endorsement. This is because social media is very popular in today's day and it will get around easier. We'll also be using things such as posters, leaflets and buses, just because people that go on trains are often on the go, so they will see billboards and buses and things like that. So for our ongoing advertisement, we will be using a billboard just because we feel like people will see it more, just because when people are on the go, that's things that they will be seeing. So we did discuss that we would like to have a larger budget for this campaign just because we feel like we would need a bit more than what we've been given. Also, on top of that, so our ongoing advertisement is a billboard, which will be an extra £1,000 a month. I don't know how long they want to continue doing it for.
Thank you. As a conclusion for the overall marketing strategy and the branding for the Train Assistant app, the app and branding, the name and branding after the research we came out with is Teletrain, from telephone and train. So telephone is the most popular communication method at our time, and train is like one of the most popular as well for the transportation. So we thought it would be ideal to just connect both together as the app name, because the main goal is to help people get all the important information about their trip, and the name can be translated easily to any other language, as the customer brief was mentioned in the customer brief. And using the influencer social media platform and all of the other mentioned methods to market the app with the name of Teletrain, to be able to make the name familiar for all targeted audience. That's the end of our presentation. Thank you very much. Can you just stop recording now?